Okay, it is that 2 minute mark, and we like to get started so we can get all the information we need and we can make the best of our Sunday together. For those of you who are tuning in to Strategy Sunday for the first time, this is Strategy Sunday with Dr. Ken. I am your host, Dr. Ken Richmond, a board certified psychiatrist, veteran, and corporate leadership coach. I help corporate leaders pinpoint their leadership issues so they can develop thriving workplaces with less turnover, improve workplace morale, and increase organizational performance. Today, we're going to be talking about the Q word, the aspiration of every organization. As usual, I like to get my audience to give me their best guesses for what word I'll be talking about today that begins with the letter Q, especially as it pertains to relationships or the workplace, especially the workplace. But as you do that, I want you to think about this question. What makes your favorite brand your favorite brand? All right, so let me tune into the chat and see what words we have coming up here. KK, hi gozaimasu, hi gozaimasu. For those of my amigos in República Dominicana, buenos tardes. Yeah, I'm having a good day today. So Dr. Ferlandi mentioned quality. Okay, we have Susan saying quality. All right, we got two qualities. What else we got? We got quality again. So it sounds like quality is a pretty important topic that we must cover. It sounds like, right? Okay. So the Q word, the aspiration of every organization. The Q word today is indeed quality. Quality, as we'll define it today, is the highest characteristic or standard against which other things are measured. Again, quality is the highest characteristic or standard against which other things are measured. Are we clear on that? Are we good on that? Qualification, quality, yes, yes, yes. Hey, Doctor, who we got on here? Dr. Nikki, thank you for joining. Excellent. So yeah, what makes to that question that I asked earlier, what makes your favorite brand your favorite brand? Do you think quality has anything to do with it? Or is it because you like somebody who worked there and it just was you're just trying to be nice and spend your money irresponsibly, right? No, I think the quality of the product that plays that goes into that decision making process, right? From the vehicle you would drive, the contractor you work with, the doctors you go to, the business you spend your money with, right? All those things come into play, but quality is an underlying factor into that. I would say that some of the articles I read would say that quality trumps integrity. So let's go figure that one out, right? Quality trumps integrity. And that was a poll when they asked a bunch of, a series of CEOs what qualities they found most important to the workplace. So quality stood out. So I really wanted to make sure we drove home the point today for our Strategy Sunday word of the week. The Q word, quality. What are some of the benefits of quality? So let's talk about that first, and then we'll go into some of the costs of having poor quality. So the benefits of having quality, good quality in your environment, in your workplace, are as follows. And these are just a few, and I'll look forward to seeing what you come up with as other benefits that you can think of. So from my perspective, the benefits of quality are it creates a competitive edge for that organization, right? You're making a product that outcompetes, that outperforms any other product in a similar class or in a similar category, okay? So you have a competitive edge. Favorable reputation. When you're producing a quality product, your reputation stands out. This could be why, many consumers have a specific brand that they always go to. You also have a high revenue cycle. In other words, you're producing products that are being purchased on a repeated basis and generating your revenue. So you have a high revenue cycle based on that. As many consumers or customers purchase your product, another benefit of having quality at the forefront of your organization is that you have satisfied customers, and in so doing, or by extension, you establish trust with them, right? And trust is one of those things that is sometimes hard to gain and quick to lose. So if you're able to develop that customer satisfaction, build their level of trust in you and your organization and the quality of the product that you're building, you're definitely on the right track. And lastly, I want to mention that when you have your focus on producing a quality product or focusing on good quality, you maintain high standards. Okay. What are some of your thoughts in terms of um, the benefits of having quality at the forefront of organizations, or even in your life or relationships that you're in. While you guys ponder that one, let's move on to the costs of poor quality. How does it cost you, your organization, right? What are you willing to pay the bill? So some of the costs of poor quality are as follows. One, you have a low overall revenue cycle. People aren't purchasing your stuff. It may not be good, right? So they may be spending money elsewhere. You could be turning out a product that just sits on a shelf or nobody's really interested in. So again, you have to be mindful of the quality that you're putting forward, right? You can also produce products that are defective. Who wants to return an item that they thought was going to, change their life or make their life easier, and then it didn't, right? So it becomes a defective product for whatever that product may be. Now you have to spend the time to go and return it. You also would then develop an unfavorable reputation. And once you lose your reputation, that's a big hit. So as I mentioned earlier, with the benefits of quality, of good quality, you have high standards being put in place and a favorable reputation. Here, when you have poor quality, you have an unfavorable reputation, and that's a big hit when your reputation gets tarnished. And lastly, I want to point out that the cost of having poor quality is low standards. You don't set the bar high enough, you get what you pay for, right? How many of us have ever heard that term? You get what you pay for. You pay high, you may get a quality product. Doesn't always guarantee it, but you can definitely guarantee oftentimes when you, on the lower side, you may not get the quality that you're seeking. So be cautious about that. So when you're purchasing stuff, when you're interacting in business to business, business to consumer, those interactions, be mindful of the importance of quality. For my audience members today, quality, they hit the nail on the head when they mention quality, right? So that's what we're talking about today. Let me tune in with the audience and see what kind of comments we have to respond to. All right, so we have Dr. Erica, you're tuning in. Thank you for joining. So let me give you a formula for you guys to think about as we go through today's broadcast. So I want somebody to put this in the chat. I want you to put low cost plus high quality equals business growth. Again, low cost plus high quality equals business growth. While you guys do that, let me mention that now I'm going to transition into the tips and strategies to help increase quality. This is Strategy Sunday with Dr. Ken. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Richmond, a board-certified psychiatrist, veteran, and corporate leadership coach. I help corporate leaders pinpoint their leadership issues so they can develop thriving workplaces with less turnover, improve workplace morale, and increase organizational performance. The tips and strategies to improve and increase quality are as follows. One, continuous improvement. You want to make continuous improvement. Two, you want to reflect on your leadership, specifically your leadership style. And three, do not stifle creativity. So let's take a deeper dive in what the tips and the strategy would be. So when I mentioned continuous improvement, you want to make a conscious effort to be a lifelong learner. So for those of us in careers like medicine, law, academics, to the HR professionals who seek to have their highest professional certifications, or a CEO officer, a corporate officer, a CEO or corporate officer, the setting of that standard begins with us, right? We must meet that high expectation first before we extend it to others, okay? So again, that goes back into having continuous improvement, always willing to learn, see things from a different perspective. The second tip, I want you to reflect on your leadership. Reflect on your leadership. And by doing so, I want you to take inventory to the environment you create or the environment you perpetuate. Again, you want to take inventory of the environment that you create or perpetuate. So we must recognize if there are toxic elements in our workplace, in our lives, in our relationships, we must recognize them for what they are, okay? And we must be able to communicate those things to individuals like supervisors. And we must be able to do so regularly, be able to set concrete expectations of how we're going to make a change happen. In other words, how are we going to alter the status quo? Okay. The third tip I want to focus on is do not stifle creativity. I wanted to be receptive to diverse creative insights of your people. Monitor those high pressure situations. So in situations where your best efforts to produce a specific product or meet a specific goal is always there's a shortfall. You have to be mindful that maybe that pressure is causing some conflict. Okay. Now I totally agree. Having deadlines, that's important, but you have to make them realistic, right? Because if you have unrealistic deadlines, you create a situation where there's a risk of your staff or your employees producing an inferior product. They're either short circuiting their creativity, and it may cost you more in the long run. And I just mentioned some of those costs earlier. You know, if a product is not of a certain caliber or a certain expectation to meet the customer's needs, right? So those again are just some of my tips and strategies as it pertains to addressing quality.